Hi, my name is Bente, I'm the Norse Witch, and welcome to another Witchy Favorites video. But first of all, as always, a little patron shoutout. Thank you very much to Noemi, Will, Jenny, Andrew, Eli Brackett, Andrew, Jenny, Tyler, Els, Betty, Misty, Athena, Cameron, Hilda, Tiffany, Amy, Dario, Colette, Soren, Braden, Tell, Timothy, Coffee, or the honorary gossip squirrel, Bjorn, Scylla, Ash, Lucy, and Joss. Thank you very much. And if you also want to be shouted out at the beginning of every video, make sure to support my Patreon. You probably know it by now, but if this is your first time watching one of my favorites videos, this is basically where I tell you a little bit about what has happened within the last couple of months in my life. Usually it's not that many physical things, but sometimes I have a book or something to recommend, then I will show you that. Otherwise, it's a lot of just experiences that I've had, stuff that has happened in my life. Basically, a little update. I should probably rename this series at some point because favorites always sound like I'm showing you a lot of stuff, which I'm not, but well, let's start. The first thing that I have on my list of favorites is The Northman, the film. I actually loved it. I've heard a lot of differing opinions on it. Some people loved it, some people completely hated it. I think it was definitely the most accurate film I've seen. I know it's not completely accurate. A lot of stuff is just exaggerated, and you can argue about the whole berserker thing and how they were acting and stuff, but I think still it's the most accurate representation we've seen in a TV show or a film. So that's why I loved it. You have to take it with a grain of salt, of course, and I mean the story isn't exciting. It's not a new story. We've seen it a lot. This story is not exciting. So I'm not watching the film for the plot. So I personally really liked it. Do with that as you will. There will be a lot of different opinions, I bet, also in the comments. If you want to argue about The Northman and if you liked it or not, do it in the comments. The next thing is I found a new plant ally, and that is ground ivy. It's a great plant. I came about it by accident when I took a walk on my favorite cemetery, and I just instantly loved the plant. I just saw there was a big patch of it. I think next to a yew tree or something, doesn't matter. There was a big patch of ground ivy, and I saw these tiny little plants with these teeny tiny little purple flowers, and I instantly fell in love with it. And it's pretty funny actually, because apparently most of the plant allies that I find, most of the plants that I just connect with are plants that have something to do with psychic abilities, dream work, trance work, stuff like that. And that is also ground ivy. Next up, I updated my Patreon because I really wanted to just make more guided meditations because I really enjoy that. Meditation is such a crucial part of my own practice that I just want to share that. But the problem is that on YouTube, one, I can't monetize them, and two, they are a lot of work to make. So that's why I personally just decided to put them just up on Patreon. So yeah, I've just really enjoyed making guided meditations again. And actually, yeah, just making up my own meditations. And the good thing is I can use them myself. I actually use them quite often. It's kind of strange at first listening to guided meditations that you made yourself, so you're listening to your own voice. But it still works. So I can basically now put up all my favorite meditations for my Patreons and use them myself. So win-win. So maybe if you're interested in my guided meditations, it's on the €5 tier. And it's just an additional thing that I added. You still get everything else that the €5 tier got beforehand, just also now guided meditations. The next thing that I really loved the past couple of months was a spell that I cast, and it's the one that I actually also showed you on YouTube. It's my Psychic Dreams spell bag. I use it every single night and it works great, but I really have to keep up with writing my dreams down, because the funny thing is, and that is where I actually see how important your own physical, your own action in the mundane world are when casting spells. When I stop writing my dreams down a couple of days, I will also stop remembering my dreams. So I have to constantly put in my own work too. Otherwise, I will not remember anything. But it works so well. Oh my god, I've remembered so many dreams with the spell bag. It's just amazing. Beforehand, I didn't remember anything. Even if I would write the dreams down, I would maybe remember one dream in a week maximum. And now if I really constantly write them down, I remember them every single night, and that's amazing. My dreams aren't that exciting. I had to find out they aren't that exciting. They're pretty mundane, and then sporadically something really crazy is in there. Yeah, if you want to see how I made that psychic dream spell bag, I will link it here, somewhere. I will also have it in the video description and also as an info card. Next up, a lot of coven stuff has happened. We, for example, now have 2 dedicants, which is amazing. I am so happy. And we actually found the second dedicant by doing more public meetups. We have done a couple of public meetups. They were all really cool. There were so many amazing people from all over the world. That's really just the advantage of having public meetups in English, even if you're not living in an English-speaking country, because there will be people from all around the world. It's so cool just talking to everyone and listening to their spiritual experience, because not everyone who comes there is necessarily really a witch. It's just amazing. I really enjoyed that. And yeah, we now have 2 dedicants whom I both really love. They're amazing. We had our first proper dedication ritual with us 3 who were already initiated into the coven, and then the 2 dedicants. Oh, it was amazing. It was amazing. I was really afraid of like forgetting my words or yeah, just fucking something up, but it went really well. It was just amazing, and just the energy in the coven is awesome. It's amazing. I really enjoyed all the rituals that we did, all the public meetups. Yeah, just really fun. Next up, my herb garden. I showed it to you in my recent morning and evening, like morning and nighttime routine video. Oh, my herb garden is doing so well. Woo! I didn't grow all the plants there from seed. Most of the ones that I planted from seed and I tried to grow from seed, they didn't really work out that well. I just don't have enough sunlight in my apartment to grow stuff from seed. But actually the mint and the basil were both from seed, and my mugwort, yes, those 3, and they're doing amazing. Ah, it's just so amazing. I just love just stepping on my balcony in the mornings and saying hello to all my plant friends. And this year, for some reason, there are less pests than usually. And I have the suspicion that it is because I'm tending to my herb garden every single day. Last year, at some point, I didn't really watch it anymore. I didn't really do anything with the herbs anymore. I just let them grow and that was it. And I feel like the more love you give them, the more you greet them in the morning, say hello to them, talk to them, give them love, the better they will grow. And I'm just seeing that at the moment, and it's just amazing to see. Honestly, it's amazing to see. It makes me just so happy, and I will probably go harvest some mint later on. And some basil probably, because the basil plant is already this huge and it's flowering, and my basil plant is flowering, my mint plant is flowering at the moment. My strawberry plant is growing some more strawberries. My tomato plant is growing some more tomatoes. It's amazing. And I already harvested some garlic, and I am really excited to harvest my potatoes. Amazing. I just can't wait to live in a house and actually have a garden to actually grow vegetables and stuff. Oh, that will be amazing. But yeah, my herb garden has just given me so much joy in the past couple of months. Then again, something I showed you in a video before, my new morning and nighttime routine. It is crazy amazing. It just makes me so much more connected to my ancestors, to my deities. Like, if you haven't watched it yet, watch the video. There are just so many like small things that I do in the morning. My morning routine probably takes me around 30 to 45 minutes. Yeah, depending on how long I meditate, but usually I meditate like 3 to 5 minutes, just a very quick morning meditation. It's just 30 minutes. And it makes me feel so connected, so grounded. It makes me really happy because I'm listening to amazing music in the morning. And I just found out again that I'm just an evening person, I'm a nighttime person. While I really love very calm mornings when there's nobody out yet because it's so early, I just can't wake up that early. So having this slow time in the evenings to just settle down after a long day of work, for example, or just being out and about, having these maybe 1.5 hours in the evening to do my meditation and to read and to just clean up my apartment a little bit, it helps so much. And as soon as I skip my nighttime routine, I actually realize that falling asleep is that much harder because I'm still stressed, I'm still all in my head, and my thoughts are circling, and it's just much harder falling asleep when I don't do my nighttime routine now. So it seems like I found a morning and a nighttime routine that just really works for me, that makes me feel connected and calm, and it helps me de-stress, and yeah, love it. Just love it. And while we were at feeling connected, I found something that I really love doing to feel connected to my ancestors, and that is actually learning about Northern German and Southern Danish folk tales. So, for example, about the Nispuk, which is a special house spirit in Northern Germany and Southern Denmark. I don't know if it's like popular all around Denmark or just Southern Denmark, but definitely Northern Germany and Southern Denmark. I didn't really think that there were books about it, but I found a lot of books. I found most of them thrifted, so I didn't really have to pay a lot of money for them. But yeah, reading about all the folk tales from actually the place where I'm from, and most of my family is from, because at least the last few generations haven't really moved about. They were actually all from this one part in Northern Germany at the border to Denmark. So it's really cool to just learn about the folk tales from that part of the world. If you haven't done that yet, I really recommend it. If you want to connect with your ancestors, research the folk tales from the region that your ancestors were from. And oh, another ancestor work thing. Apparently I did a lot of stuff with my ancestors recently. I actually visited them, I met up with them during a trance journey, and it was really interesting because I knew from the DNA test that I took that I have some kind of Scottish, Welsh or Irish ancestry, but they didn't really give me more info than that. So I didn't really know if I have ancestry from all of these parts of the world or only one of them. I didn't know that. So it was really interesting to find out through this trance journey that there is some Scottish ancestry, because there was actually a Scot. They requested that they wanted something Scottish on my altar. And well, what a surprise! I actually had found on a flea market some Scottish mugs that are originally from Scotland. So I was like, oh, weird synchronicity. So yeah, now I'm using this mug from Scotland on my ancestor altar for their daily offerings of water. And yeah, well, coincidence? I don't think so. I don't believe in coincidences. Next up, my drum. Also something that I showed you in a video. It was a vlog. Again, link in the video description and also in an info card. I showed you that drum in the video, and I took a lot of time recently to connect with it, and it just instantly clicked. I also got the drum. It was not new. I got it from our high priestess, from our coven's high priestess. I tried it out when we were doing some chanting with our dedicants, and I just instantly fell in love with it. I knew that I wanted a drum for ages, but I didn't really know where to get it and what kind of drum to get. But I just instantly fell in love with this drum, and connecting to it has been amazing. I found out that it's actually pretty easy to get into a light trance state while drumming. At the beginning, it was kind of difficult because you have to multitask if you skip a beat or something, because I can't drum that loud in my apartment, especially at night. So I have to do it kind of silently. And if you skip a beat, you're kind of thrown out of the trance. But if you get used to it, it is actually pretty easy. And chanting with the drum has been amazing. The first time that I played the drum by myself at home, a random chant just came to me. I don't know if it's maybe the sound of the drum or something, but yeah, I also showed it to you in the vlog. I don't know where that chant came from, it just came to me and it has stuck with me ever since, and I'm repeating it over and over. It's pretty good to get into a trance, just amazing. I love this drum, I love this drum. The next thing is something that happened fairly recently, and that is that I visited a Viking museum once with my parents, but then a week later actually I went there again with my best friend because there was a workshop on herbs that were used by the Vikings. How cool is that? Just Viking era stuff combined with plants. That's just my thing. So of course I had to go there, and fortunately it was on a Friday, so I don't work my normal 9 to 5 on Fridays, so I was able to go there with my best friend, which was just amazing. It was so fun. Yeah, we looked at the museum, we looked at the houses, everything. So cool. It was the first time that I actually had the time, the proper time to look at everything and actually visit the museum itself, because the museum and the recreated houses are, yeah, they're in different places. So you have to walk from the museum to the houses. And it was the first time that I actually had the time to look at both of them. And it was amazing, and the workshop was great. I will share the knowledge that I got from this workshop also with my patrons. And afterwards I read up a lot about the place and found out that it was actually one of the biggest Viking era cities. Didn't know that, and it's like around the corner. It's like 30 minutes by car from my hometown, and I just never knew that it actually was that huge back in the day. And also there were fluffy cows, and we love a fluffy cow. A YouTube thing that happened. I hit 10k subscribers. 10,000 people. You guys, 10,000 people. Imagine that many people on one spot. That's just crazy. And I'm so grateful to each and every one of you. Oh my God. So if you're a subscriber, massive love goes out to you. Honestly. I'm so fucking grateful. I would have never thought also that I would hit 10k after 1.5 years of being on YouTube. And I hit it like a couple of days before my birthday, so that was perfect. I know it doesn't necessarily have to do with witchcraft or paganism, but I still wanted to mention it because I... What? 10,000 people! I love you! Next up, also again a spell. I cast a money spell on the full moon, on the last full moon, together with my best friend. And we haven't worked magically together in ages, so it was amazing in general to just do that. But the money spell was also very successful because literally the day after we cast the spell, I mean, in general, a few smaller things happened, but then also exactly the day after we cast the spell, I got the inquiry for the sponsorship that I recently did with Aura, and it was my first, the first sponsorship that I actually really wanted to do. I initially wanted to cast the spell because I did my taxes and I wanted to get as much money out of the taxes as possible. Apparently they haven't gotten to my taxes yet, so I don't know yet how much money I will get back. We will see how well exactly the money spell worked, but it already worked wonders. It already worked really well, and probably at some point I will show you that spell on here. Tell me if you want that. Do you want to have a spell walkthrough of that money spell? Because every time I've done it, it has worked wonders. So I would be open to share that with you. Tell me in the comments. Next up, second to last thing. And that was actually something I did on the summer solstice. I made a success oil. It was a pretty spontaneous thing. I didn't really plan on doing it, but I had more time on my hands as I thought I would have on the summer solstice. And I thought, what better oil to make than a success oil on the summer solstice? So I did that, and it's by far the best oil I've made so far. I already tried it and it worked really great. And how it worked I will tell you in the next thing. But yeah, it works really great and it smells amazing. It smells like Christmas. It smells like Christmas. It's so nice. It's so nice. Yeah, it's by far the best oil I've made so far, I think, in my opinion. And I actually made enough so that I can put some of it on my shop. It should already be on my shop by now. I love this oil. Making oils in general is just so rewarding and so relaxing. As soon as I had this oil in my hand, as soon as I put it in a bottle and I took it into my hands and I kind of tried to feel the energies of that oil, it's buzzing. It feels like it's buzzing in my hands, and it feels golden, orange, vibrant, amazing. I finished it off very recently, just a few days ago. Afterwards, I wanted to do a trance journey. I wanted to do a trance journey to connect with Odin, to ask him about a few things concerning runes, and I just put some of the success oil just randomly, like on my temples and like in general on my pulse points. I just wanted to try it. I didn't really have that much intention behind it. I just put it on my body and that was basically it, that I didn't really do anything special with it. But yeah, I used it for the trance journey, and the trance journey was amazing. It was crazy good, and I channeled rune knowledge from Odin, which I'm so excited about. Because I was always wondering, like, why do I kind of guess how to cast runes and try to find my own way of casting runes if I can just ask Odin how I can properly cast runes? And the way that he described to me wasn't actually that far off from the way that I already did it, but I got some very great new knowledge, and now I will try that out. We'll see. I will definitely incorporate that into my rune series. If you want to know which knowledge I channeled from Odin, go watch the rune series, because I will mention it there. And that was everything that basically happened the past couple of months. Now you're up to date. I'm really happy because every time I look at the list, a lot of the things I kind of didn't remember anymore, because I only do these videos like every couple of months, and I have a very bad memory. And every time I read through everything that happened the past couple of months, I'm like, oh yeah, that thing happened, and that thing happened, and oh my, that is so cool. So many things happened these past couple of months. So I'm always very, very grateful when I make these videos. So yeah, I'm happy now. And you're up to date. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to subscribe and give a thumbs up. And of course, check out my Instagram and my TikTok, and of course, my online shop, especially because the success oil will be on there. And maybe you want to even consider becoming my patron and maybe get the guided meditations that I was talking about. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!